and that's it for Magistrix Arona. I could go around and pick up all of these extra quests, but I think I'm gonna stick to this one as long as it continues to put me on a streamlined quest line, just so I can keep the same narrative going. I don't want to bounce between them too much if I can help it. Magistrix Arona told me you'd be along quick enough, Drelina. The Falthrien Academy to our west, the huge floating building with the ornate spires, is in bad shape. You're going to be leading the effort to recapture it from one of the Wretched, a blood elf who has forever succumbed to their basest cravings. I hope you're ready to work. This is not only going to be a lesson about danger, but also of what happens when you forsake the realities of who you are. Before sending you to the Academy, I want you on another task that needs to be dealt with immediately. Once used to aid us in the gardening of Sunstrider Isle, the bestial tenders now have grown out of our control. Clear them out with due haste, but be warned, their lack of control has made them aggressive. It is such aggression that forces us to put down these once gentle servants. It doesn't please me to ask you to do such a task, but survival is survival. I'll mourn later. I do also like that they decided to make the Blood Elves kind of a tragic race. It does contrast with the stereotypical idea that elves are perfect in everything they do. And I appreciate that. It gives them some flaws, and emphasizes the troubles they have because of all the corruption. I do always forget how slow rogues feel in the very beginning, because it's not even that you don't have many abilities, it's the energy consumption and how slow it rebuilds. It definitely feels like fighting through molasses when you're used to being a max level rogue who has tons of energy regen. While the deaths of the tenders give me no joy whatsoever, it does show me that you're ready for the most important task you'll do here on Sunstrider Isle. Take this and put it to good use. You'll need good items and sharp wits for the task ahead. Our reassertion of control over the island depends on it.
Time is of the essence.
And we're level 4! Moving up in the world. I remember when you wouldn't even be like level 5 when you left this zone. You definitely level up a lot quicker now, even without heirlooms. A betrayer of our people resides atop Falthrien Academy to the southwest. Falthrien is his name, and he was banished from Blood Elf lands for failing to heed the warnings of our teachers and elders. He is the worst of our society, as he lives only to feed his insatiable magical addictions. He refused to learn control. He is a shell of his former self, one of the Wretched, and he is a threat to the Sunspire. Destroy him and the wraiths he uses as minions.
Stay the course.
This is another part of the questline. I think when it comes to the Blood Elves, the farther I get in the Blood Elf story, the more nostalgic it gets. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe these beginning quests just didn't stick in my mind as much. I made a lot of memories here more associated with the social aspect of hanging out in this zone than anything else. Oh my gosh, this is also a spot where we would have little roleplay beach parties. I do feel like maybe a contributing factor to the level of nostalgia just rising in general, especially with quests like this and killing the tenders, it might have something to do with the fact that this is where the story of the Blood Elves opens up a lot more. With the mana worms and the lynxes, it's kind of generic, just clear out the area. But this is the first quest that has an actual antagonist to hunt down and kill. But I do like a lot of the Blood Elf lore. I think it's interesting, and they add in some takes on elves that you wouldn't expect back then when they first came out, or if you played this as a teenager and your only experiences with elves were things like D&D, where they were stereotypically regal and stuck up. And here they're kind of still stuck up, but they're a lot more tortured. You found an odd sliver of crystallized mana on the corpse of the tainted arcane wraith. The sliver is different than others you may have seen in that it is as dark and sinister looking as the wraith you looted it from. Just holding it gives you a sense of unnatural foreboding. Arcanist Helion at the gazebo of the Sunspire on Sunstrider Isle just might be someone who would have a use for the sliver. I do really love the better customization options they have. I would have never been able to make a blood elf that looked like this back when I first started. I don't think they had any special colors for the hair. I think it was just natural colors like blonde and red and brown. And we definitely did not have blue eyes. It was just green. Only green. Also, these wraiths looked different. They're green now, but they used to be blue. I don't know exactly why they changed them. Maybe to make it more obvious that they're tainted, and the models might be more detailed in general. I guess I don't mind it, but it is definitely jarring, especially comparing them to the regular wraiths, when you know before they were blue. And they have, like, toxic clouds around them now. It's very different from what it used to be. And here's our guy we gotta kill.
Take heart. Your friends will not long mourn your passing.
Goodbye, Falthrien. Rest in peace. Whew, my bag is already full. But I will hearth back to Sunstrider Isle to turn in this quest. Alright, back we track to... what's-his-face? I already forgot his name. Lanthan Paralon. Heed well this warning. Falthrien the Banished is only a symptom of a much larger problem. His demise will solve our immediate concerns, but all Blood Elves share the potential same fate as him if we let our addictions get the best of us. Falendrin's head. You are to be commended, Drelina. You've succeeded where others like Falthrien have utterly failed. Perhaps you are truly ready to be a contributing member of Blood Elf society. Your success here means that you are capable of surviving the greater threats that lurk in Eversong. And believe me, there are plenty to face. Magistrix Arona wanted you to head over to Silvermoon City in order to aid our reclamation efforts there. That is, once you had successfully addressed the situation at Falthrien Academy. You did not disappoint us, Drelina. On your way to Falconwing Square, south of here, you should speak with Outrunner Alarian. She's not far from the bridge. The Outrunners take care of shuttling goods between here and the mainland, and since you've proven to be so resourceful, they could use your assistance.
Stay the course.
Of course I'll do that. However, that is a thread I will not follow right now, because it's farther out. That'll be on the way to Falconwing Square. As for Sunstrider Isle, we still have work to do here. I need to turn in this sliver to Arcanist Helion.
Anaria Shola.
Knowledge is power. True power, my young friend. You'll be wise to acquire as much of it as you can, and pay proper heed to those who have already done so. From your demeanor, you seem to be on a matter of some urgency. Is there something specific I can assist you with? This is most interesting. And when I say interesting, I mean more disturbing than anything else. Our efforts to reassert control over the Isle in the time following the destruction of the Sunwell have been a challenge. I suspect that whatever foul source is corrupting the Isle is at the heart of it all. The sliver may be of some aid in uncovering what's really going on. You were wise to bring this to me, Drelina. Take this as compensation for your diligence. Thank you. 7 silver and 20 copper? Sure. I guess that's worth it. Yay! We're level 5 and I got Sprint! So finally I can traverse this place much quicker. I do also have the chauffeur mount that lets you ride around under level 10, but I'm not going to use it. I'll get to level 10 soon enough anyway, and I'll get mount riding when it's appropriate. If there is only one lesson you deign to remember from your time on Sunstrider Isle, let it be this. Control your thirst for magic. It is a thirst unending, Drelina. What you absorb must be controlled and released via arcane torrent. Failure is to become one of the wretched, hopelessly addicted and insane. Seek out a mana wyrm and unleash your arcane torrent upon it. Learn to master your power. When you have sufficiently released an arcane torrent, return to me. Sorry, little baby. You've done well today, Drelina. Your willingness to learn shows that you may very well rise above the unyielding cravings you must endure as a blood elf. Rest not on your laurels, young one, but instead seek to master what you have learned. Only through diligence will we as a race survive. Take this. It may be of some use to you. Go now, and bring glory once more to our people. Yes, sir. Now this quest, since we don't have any more threads to follow. It's a shame that we've lost control of many of the creatures here on the island. This was once a tranquil place of study and research. Now it's all we can do to keep from being attacked by our own creations. I'm going to offer you a chance to receive a magical boon in exchange for some collecting work on your part. Bring me a stack of arcane slivers that are found on the mana-using creatures of Sunstrider Isle, and I will cast a spell on you that should aid your adventures on the Isle. Oh my gosh, these bracers look awful with my starting gear. I'll definitely be happy when I can transmog my stuff. I am slightly surprised to see just how many blood elves are in this zone, because I did specifically choose a realm with low population, but it seems like there is actually a good handful of people making new blood elves here, so that's actually nice to see. Many of the creatures here on the Isle were at one point bound into non-aggression and complacency by our magical skills. When the Scourge destroyed the Sunwell, our hold over these creatures shattered. Arcane slivers are the remnants of the control we once had, and as such might be usable in fashioning a new device to aid us in regaining their control. Better still, perhaps the slivers could be used to see what malaise the Isle truly suffers under. Splendid, these will do nicely. I've been doing quite a bit of thinking on the current malaise Sunstrider Isle suffers under. One possible course of action I had pondered was to collect these arcane slivers from the beasts on the Isle. In doing so, they could be experimented on. This would provide a potential source of culpability. Anyway, I will tend to the research. Allow me to place this incantation on you. I believe you'll make good use of it. And we got Fortitude of the Sindori. My stamina and versatility increased by 5. Alright, now we go up the spire to get this guy up here. Look at all those class trainers that are completely useless now. These guys don't do anything anymore. Oh my god. Okay, I actually want to read what all these people say. I don't think I've ever done that before. This is the Paladin trainer. Ours is a path for those with an iron will and unfaltering resolve. You seem to possess none of these traits, Rogue. What a dick. She's the priest trainer. I have no time for a sermon now, Rogue. Seek your knowledge elsewhere. Fine. I didn't want you to pray for me anyway. Warrior. I train only warriors, Rogue. You'll have to look elsewhere. That's fine. That one's fair. He's just being truthful. Hunter. We have little to discuss, Rogue. Perhaps you should seek other, more like-minded individuals. I guess. Kinda rude, but whatever.
Hello.
Monk trainer. How may I help you? Very polite. And what do you say, my guy?
What business have you?
Greetings, Drelina. You were not followed here, I trust. I like you. Alright, let me speed up this spire.
The eternal sun guides us.
Hello, Well Watcher Solanian. The Sunspire held a beautiful vantage of the Sunwell. Once. Our lives have been turned upside down, Drelina, but we nonetheless carry on. It is our way. We are survivors. If you are to survive this upheaval, to carry on in your own right, then you must learn how to survive. All Blood Elves must do this. You must master your insatiable hungering for magic before it masters you. Day after day I stand here, watching, waiting. I've been accused of dwelling too much on our past while my eyes look to the horizon. But it is my firm belief that each visitor to this island should honor those who have sacrificed all, so that they may continue to do so. Dathramar Sunstrider was our first king. He led us here from Kalimdor through the Maelstrom. Seek out his shrine to the west, and do not return to me until you have read the plaque upon it in his honor. With all the chaos happening here at the Sunspire, I haven't had a chance to collect my belongings I've left outside at various places on the Isle. I must maintain my vigil over the Sunwell here, so I'll ask you to collect them in my stead. I need my scrying orb, my scroll of scourge magic, and my journal. Use this satchel for some extra space, as my things are rather bulky. Return them to me, and I'll give you a little something. You know, for the effort. You can keep the satchel as well. Sure thing, boss. Ooh, that belt is actually an upgrade. Alright, on to... let's go to the shrine first. Well, let's go pick up some of his stuff first, so we can read the shrine later. His book is right over here, underneath the big crystal, which has eyes on it. Actually, for the longest time I did not realize that these crystals have eyes on them, and they follow you. Also, for some reason, that reminds me that when I first started playing Rogue, embarrassingly, it took me quite a long time to realize what my combo points were. Like, I saw these bubbles up here, which even this looks different from how it did back then, but I would see these red bubbles as I was attacking things, and I did not know what they were. It's really embarrassing, because a rogue should have known, but I didn't know what they did until, I think I was on the forums, actually. Someone made a comment on the forums that, like, put 2 and 2 together in my head, that these red dots were my combo points. I think I remember feeling, like, when I first started playing Rogue, that I just had to keep track of my combo points, knowing how many of them my skills built up, and being just so dumb to not realize that they were counting them for me. Alright, Scroll of Scourge Magic. I also like this little fountain here. I think it's pretty. I love this design, like this swirly spire design. And you can see they have like little flowers in it too. That's super cute. And now we approach the spire. I think this was a spot back here as well, where the people that I met in the early days would hang out. Yes, this was the more secluded spot where a lot of people would go if they wanted a little more privacy. I don't remember much erotic roleplay happening here, but it was generally like, hey, you want to just break off from the group and hang out one-on-one, you would typically come here, because it's kind of hidden a little bit behind the shrine. Not as many people went out this way. Alright, let's read this plaque. To our dear King Dathramar, you have discovered the location of the shrine. Upon further examination, you sense a stronger pulse of the strange power that has gripped the isle. You feel a bit uncomfortable standing by the shrine, and perhaps a little disturbed. The bronze placard along the side of the shrine reads, "Here stands the Shrine of Dathramar, a fitting tribute to a noble elf. Let all who gaze on this monument remember his sacrifices for our people, and his dedication to the cause of our continued survival. All who prosper in Quel'Thalas do so thanks to him." What a tribute. Let's go ahead and sprint back. Alright, Solanian, I got your stuff. Have you had a chance to find my belongings? Once we reassert our dominance over Sunstrider Isle, I will need them in my work. For now, though, I must maintain my watch over the Sunwell, or what remains of it. Well done. I knew you'd be perfect for the task. That's a little bit insulting. It's just picking up your stuff, bro. Once it's safe to make use of our outdoor facilities on the Isle, I'll be putting these things to good use. Like I mentioned, please feel free to keep the satchel. Also, you may find this piece of armor to be useful. Consider it ample compensation for a simple task performed dutifully. Well, yeah, that actually is an upgrade, so thanks. Ooh, level 6, and we got Kick. I got my interrupt spell. Ah, Drelina, thank you for sharing your experience at the Shrine of Dathramar. First off, you should be commended for your sense of duty and respect. It will serve you well not only here, but in all of Azeroth as well. As for the odd sensation, it is no doubt a contributing part of the taint that has befallen Sunstrider Isle. We shall keep an eye on it. Thank you for alerting us to it. You're welcome. Farewell. Okay, that is Sunstrider Isle all finished. Now all we have to do is go meet up with the Outrunner. And then we get to go into Falconwing Square, where I have even more memories and stories to tell.